Hello there, my friends. Welcome back to the Random Show episode number 120. A little short, quick one for you now because I want to cover some stuff really fast. It's not going to be super long, maybe like an hour or so. So please tune in if you haven't already. That'd be greatly appreciated. I don't know what I'm saying right now, but big up everybody that's going to be tuning in little by little as we start going with all this good stuff over here. But yeah, welcome back to the Random Show. Quite a few things here and there to cover, nothing too crazy. Gonna go over some posts I saw on the Friday Kids subreddit, some videos on the TFATK channel, and some other bits and bobs that I want to quickly cover on here. I do appreciate every single one of you that are tuning in. Of course, if you're watching this after the fact, please make sure that you're liking the stream along the way so people can find the stuff that I'm doing. I actually might need a haircut, innit? I might need a haircut or to braid my hair. My hair's looking mad. And my beard as well. I need to probably shave this down a little bit. But anyway, regardless, we're here, we're queer, and we're ready to roll. Big up everybody in the stream. I appreciate all of you. So, quickly want to talk about this. CASANOVA. I actually really liked him as a personality and as a rapper overall, and I was actually bummed out when the news came out that he was gonna flipping get, done for in terms of the gang flipping affiliations that he has and all that malarkey. It kind of really upset me, I'm not gonna lie, because like I said, I'm a big fan of his. So it is quite sad to see how it's all kind of been playing out with him in court and stuff. This is a headline courtesy of TMZ. A recent update says, "I'm not a gang member anymore. Your Honor, don't throw the book at me." He's currently still in jail, I think, awaiting sentencing. He's been in there for a while. I think he was arrested on a RICO for his connections with his gang in New York called, I think, what are they called? Something about the apes or something. I forgot what the gang is called. So he basically is now trying to renounce it to get a lighter sentence. But Jesus Christ, man, being a gangster sometimes, it can add to your mystique. It adds to your flipping, protection. It's probably cool. You get to hang out with all your friends from the block. You have some fun times. But ultimately, when shit goes down, it robs you of your entire life. And it must be brutal for CASANOVA because he's an actual street dude who makes good. Gets a record contract even though he's not the greatest rapper, just based on his charisma and how he kind of carries himself. And then he fucking gets into a situation where he gets flipping caught up in a RICO, and now he's facing some really serious numbers in terms of years. I think up to 60 or something crazy I saw. But let's read the TMZ article. It says CASANOVA is begging the judge for mercy ahead of his sentencing after pleading guilty to drug trafficking and RICO charges, and he wants the court to know that he's no longer associated with the gang that got him in trouble in the first place. The new legal documents are obtained by TMZ. TMZ is always going to do this, isn't it? They're always going to reveal the stuff that you said in court. TMZ Hip Hop, embattled Rock Nation rapper, lays out in an emotional letter to the judge in which he fully renounces his gang ties to the Gorilla Stone Nation Bloods and promises to continue speaking out against gang life. The thing that to me is really strange, and I think maybe this is why gangs nowadays don't work as well as they did in the past. If you were in a gang before and you weren't famous or you didn't do anything like noteworthy in mainstream culture, usually if you did make something of yourself and you're part of a gang, someone older up, someone like an OG would tell you, hey, relax on doing ride outs. You're not going to do fucking stick ups anymore. You're not going to be robbing places. You're going to be our kind of cash cow for the gang. So if we need, some money to buy some weapons or to buy some stock, we're going to come to you. But you're not going to take part in any kind of active, gang affiliate shit. Because we need you, because you're making legit money. So they'll kind of, purposely tell you not to join in on stuff. But for some reason, some of these guys, they get famous while still being in the gang. And instead of renouncing it and publicly kind of stepping away from it because they know if any smoke comes towards the gang, they're going to go down too, they actually double down, triple down, and start doing way more gang shit. They start throwing up way more signs. They start fucking really banging for their set. They start doing ride outs. They start doing, putting out threats and shit. Like, they go overboard more so than when they were quote unquote regular civilians, which I've never understood really. Like I said, I think it really does take an OG to step in and say, hey, you're making money rapping. That's helping us out. That's funding what we do. It's adding to our flipping appeal. That's good enough. You don't need to join us on whatever else we're doing. You don't need to be selling pounds of weed. You know what I mean? Just do what you're doing here. It continues, says, CASANOVA says he's not denying that he made poor decisions. After all, he did plead guilty to drug trafficking charge and saying he used the gang life to build an image in rap community and sell music by insisting he no longer wants to live that life. It's a bit late, isn't it, Casanova, man? It's a bit late, Cass. Fucking hell, brother. Um, what's John Smith saying? They leverage their fame and money to become leaders. Yeah, that's probably what they do. You're right in that respect. I guess if it was me, I wouldn't want to be a leader in a gang without actually putting in work. Like, I'm just one of those people that wants to work hard for the things that I get. I don't want to anything handed on a plate. And I also know, the way gang politics works and flipping, infighting. I would want people to be scared of me because I have actual, or in fear of me because I have actual rep on the streets, as opposed to I got put on because I'm rich. Because if you got put on because you're rich, you could probably get put off because you're rich also. You know what I mean? People can literally kind of do what they want to you because you haven't really earned your stripes. So I'd want to earn my stripes personally if that was me. Personally, I wouldn't do it. I'd renounce it. If I was in a gang before and I became a famous rapper, I'd declare it in a magazine interview and say I'm done with that life and make sure everybody knows, and obviously change my circle a little bit. But if I had to, then I want to earn my stripes. You know what I mean? The 36-year-old Brooklyn rapper, native, also pointed to his hard upbringing and lack of a father figure. He's trying everything, man. To be fair, I think I'd rather beg a judge for leniency than I would, prefer to snitch. Because I feel like as much as I am a fan of Gunna, every time I kind of see him, it kind of really hurts to be like, fuck, man. You kind of did fuck dirty. Fuck brought you in. He made you a multi-millionaire, a pop star, a star in general, and then when it came down time to kind of hold it down a little bit and kind of ride out for the guy and have his back, you just completely turned around and now you're out here living your best life, lost a bunch of weight, looking amazing, feeling amazing, and Fug is in some prison cell somewhere, shivering away. That's the only thing that kind of bums me out, like a little bit bums me out in that regard. So I'd rather beg the judge for leniency than snitch on my fucking friends. Casanova thinks the government painted his raps as predominantly violent, but also says he doesn't accurately reflect that he's always material. He plans to speak out against gangs while locked up and says he made new acquaintances to assist with his mission. Casanova also submitted dozens of letters from family and friends, colleagues vouching for his character and hoping the judge takes into account during sentence so he can serve his sentence and get back to normal life and family. He's reportedly facing 60 years in prison. So let's see how much that does in terms of helping him. I'm assuming because he has a long rap sheet, he's been in and out of jail most of his life. I think before he became rapper, he was in jail for or prison for 7 years or something. Like, Casanova's not, he's not fucking new to this game. So most likely the judge isn't going to take too kindly to that, I'd imagine, because US judges don't take too kindly to repeat offenders, especially when they're asking for leniency. So let's see how that works out for him. But fucking hell, man, he hasn't been sentenced this whole entire time, just sitting there in jail. Being a gang or being a gangster in general nowadays is fucking a waste of time, bro. Real waste of time. But yeah, hopefully he gets out. Next, we got this issue regarding Boosie. Damn Boosie, man. Boosie Badass charged with a gun crime in San Diego federal court. The word on road is that it's a bit more heavier of a charge than a gun charge. They just got him on the gun charge to have him sit down. But it's actually going to be something a little bit more heavy. It probably might be a RICO or something else, which is really crazy because Boosie was kind of acting and moving around like he was, he kind of is over that kind of street life that he once led. He's doing podcast interviews and stuff and, doing walkthrough at clubs and doing his music. Like, it kind of seemed like he kind of turned a new leaf. But maybe secretly in the background, he was always trapping, always doing whatever he was going to maybe accused of being doing, which is why the feds are kind of jumping on him so quickly in this regard. So the side thing about it also is I think he's been denied bond as well, if I'm not mistaken, or denied bail. So Boosie is really fucked up, man. It says here, longtime Southern rapper Boosie Badass, who arrested in San Diego, suspicion of gun charge last month while in town for a performance, appeared in federal court on Thursday to face the charge of being a felon in possession of a firearm. Boosie Torrance Ivy Hatch, 40, who previously performed under the name of Boosie and Lil Boosie, did not enter a plea during his initial appearance in U.S. court. Hatch, whose name was sometimes spelled Torrance, served previous jail and prisons and faced other legal troubles in his home state of Louisiana. Authorities allege that his prior convictions prohibited him from possessing firearms. San Diego police officers arrested Hatch on May 6 during a traffic stops at Charles View neighborhood. The rapper reportedly in San Diego at the time to film a music video and perform a show in a venue called Gaslamp Quarter. The only sad thing about this is that if you're somebody like a Boosie badass and you're really connected to the streets, but you're a felon and you can't carry a gun, you're kind of in a predicament. If you don't carry a gun and you get caught slipping, you might end up going out like fucking Exorcist Tentacion. But if you carry a gun and you're a felon, you might end up sitting down in jail or prison for a long period of time. So what would you rather? Take your chances and die because you're so attached to the streets, or take your chances with having a gun in your car, and if the police pull you over, you might have to sit down for a while. Tough. I guess you could just hire people to just, do security for you, but you have to pay for them all the time. Armed security isn't cheap. So, normal security without any weapons isn't cheap. So imagine what armed security is like. So stepping out of your house and paying for security all the time is a bit much. So I understand the predicament these guys are in. Police said at the time the officers found 2 loaded handguns in his car and arrested him and another man on several firearm and ammunition charges. The day he was arrested, he posted bail and performed that night at Phantom Lounge, a nightclub, where at one point he led the crowd in a chant that said, "Fuck the San Diego police." According to the footage of the performance, Hatch was initially charged in San Diego Superior Court, but on Wednesday, prosecutors from San Diego District Attorney's Office dismissed the charge. His attorney in the case, Damon Almiro, said federal investigators were waiting. Hatch was outside the courtroom when they arrested him in federal charges. The really annoying thing about America, I think, is this, isn't it? Because America is such a fucking big place. You could be traveling somewhere, get in trouble that's way, nowhere close to the state you live in, and then you could legitimately be in jail or serve prison time in a state you've never visited, or in a state you're just passing through. Like, imagine that. How crazy that is, that you're in a completely different state, you get caught riding dirty, and then here you are. Like, God damn it, man. Yo, big up Uche. Fuck, man. Like, honestly, like, it's just not worth it sometimes. Like, imagine you're from fucking, I don't know, whatever, and then you get caught riding dirty somewhere in the south, and then you have to serve a jail time over there. Like, I'd be crying. Assistant Attorney General Sandor Callahan argued on Thursday that he would remain detained in federal custody until at least Tuesday morning, when the detention hearing is scheduled. Defense attorney Megan Blanco argued Hatch should be released because he had made a court appearance on Wednesday in a state case. She told that the state judge was going to sentence Hatch to prohibition in a case before it was dismissed. She also argued that federal prosecutors should be prepared to proceed with detention hearing on Thursday because they had weeks to confer. She said keeping Hatch jailed over the weekend would mean that he would miss out on performances scheduled on Saturday and Sunday, which he's already been paid. But Callahan argued additional matters had risen. See, this is the issue he's got here. But Callahan argued that additional matters have arisen and that federal prosecutors needed more time to prepare arguments about keeping Hatch detained. So clearly something is in the works that they've got there. The criminal complaint and other court documents in the case were not immediately available on Thursday. Hatch began his music career in 1990. So far I've heard he got denied bail, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see here. Boosie denied bail. Let's see if that's true. I think he got denied bail, if I'm accurate here. Yes, he denied bond. Facing mandatory 15 years. Excuse me? Shit. That's fucking crazy if true, man. Fuck, Boosie. Damn. He couldn't fucking kept his nose clean, could he? Anyway, let's see. Hopefully he gets out. Hopefully it's nothing too serious, but again, another indication that living that kind of life is not the best way to go about things. Last on the list in terms of hip-hop news, we got this pretty interesting update, which I kind of like, to be fair. I'd wish more rappers kind of did this, or more people in prominence would do this also. Meek Mill got on Twitter and said as follows: "Who think I fell off or don't really think I got it with rapping anymore? I'm for real. I need answers, and I tell the truth. I'm not taking it personal. I need to hear how people think before I do what I do. A social experiment. Answer if you support of mine." So he's basically asking his fans or people alike just to kind of let him know what he's been doing wrong with his career so far and how he can kind of correct course and if he's fallen off. And obviously there's been tons like loads of responses from fans or whatnot, getting the comments and letting him know, which is quite cool to be fair, because you know Meek Mill has gone a bit cold. He's not maybe as on top as he once was at one point, and maybe this is kind of what he maybe needs to kind of maybe steer in the right direction of what to do. Obviously, still when it comes to art, you need to have one kind of singular voice, but this could kind of give him some idea on the general kind of mistakes that he's been making, so he can kind of maybe avoid them. I kind of like this, to be fair. I'm not gonna lie. Let's see if it kind of works in that regard. Let's see if this kind of works. Someone said here, you never fell off. The internet does this weird shit where they turn a rapper into a meme and it's cool. It has nothing to do with your actual account. You slow down on releases. It's hard to judge where your offer is recent. Another one says, Meek Mill is lazy now, probably have another personal things he's focusing on. The thing is, you're going to continue to rap on the old wave, or are you going to adapt to this new Jay-Z music, Gen Z, sorry, music? You have to, you ready to have name, experience, and fans, blah, blah, blah. Another person says here, just stop the talk and drop. That's how we all feel. We know what you are capable of, show it. Another person says, we ready when you are, take your time, king. Last few years for you was a hard knock. Nothing wrong with resetting. So when you do drop, it'll be organic. Just give him advice. He's asking for fucking advice. So fucking sucking his dick. Another person says here, I feel like we're missing grown Meek. As a fan for over a decade now, I've always loved your music, but the tracks like Middle of the Summer, The Ride, and Polo, and Shell Tops, etc. are songs that hit the hardest. I'ma always rock with you work, but I miss that shit. Another one says here, personally, I think that you haven't put out music that is much passion or hunger as you did when you were first popping. Always got you as a spitter, but the music itself hasn't had that feeling. Imagine Brendan doing this. Imagine Brendan Schaub decided one day, okay, enough's enough. Why do you guys hate me? Why do you guys think I'm a joke? Why do you guys always laugh at me and make fun of me? Tell me in the comments, how can I fix my comedy career? Like imagine, like serious answers only, like, I'm open to all responses. I'm not going to block or delete anybody. Please let me know in the comments. That would be such a funny day. But also, it actually legitimately would be helpful, because I think there would be some people in the comments, maybe myself included, actually giving him some actual real suggestions. So big up Meek for being open to criticism, whether it's harsh or not. And let's see if that leads to anything. Anyway, moving on. Let's check the fucking videos and see what the deal is, because I can't stay for too long. So let's see what the deal is here. We're going to go for a couple. We got this clip here from TFATK channel. Let's see what this is about. It says, Brendan Schaub blames Hollywood for making aliens the bad guys. What? Okay, let's check this out. Let's see what this is saying here. I haven't actually seen this video. Let's see what this vibe is saying. Brendan blames Hollywood for the aliens. Yeah? Okay, cool. Let's see here. Wait for load a bit. There we go. Let's go.
Brendan Schaub blames.
Oh, come on, let's fast forward a little bit. Don't want to hear him talking. Come on. Maybe it's around here, right? Let's see here.
I blame Hollywood.
Let's see there.
The Kidz subreddit. Bobby Lee, roll the goddamn footage. Do it.
And our perception
it is
of,
different, but yeah.
Our perception of like aliens is always like some negative thing. I mean, it's like
See, I blame Hollywood for that.
that's what I mean.
Hollywood, because when they came out with Mars Attacks, and like they're trying to attack this and all this shit.
It was before that.
His reference is Mars Attacks. Brenda's brain is fried.
Bro.
No. Mars
Fucking
Attack.
Mars Attacks
No. Mars
changed the
Attack was
culture and alien.
It did. Bro, what are you?
I think he's saying
That's the universal
Changed the
face.
culture and alien.
It did. Bro, what are you?
That's the universal face of, frustration that Brendan elicits in everybody. You speak to him for a prolonged period of time, you're like, bruv, how is it possible that you're a multi-millionaire but you're this level of redacted? Please. How is it possible that you're this level of redacted yet you're a multi-millionaire? How is this possible? What is going on here? What are we doing here?
I think he's thinking War of the Worlds.
Yeah.
Yes.
The film with Tom Cruise. That's what actually got people to think. Come on, man.
It's War of the Worlds. Yes, War of the Worlds.
Okay.
Mars Attack.
It's not unusual with the fucking.
No, that's a remake. Mars Attack was way before that.
Yeah, we're so way off this.
No,
fucking...
this started with Orson.
Now here are the red.
I love when Brendan's wrong and then he just doubles down on the wrong, or doesn't realize he's wrong and just kind of steamrolls through it. Like, he got the reference completely wrong. It was a wrong thing that he was meant to say. He didn't clear it up. He just latched onto the right thing, then tried to clear it up at the end, got Chris in a tizzy, and still continued on. I absolutely love shit like that, honestly. It makes me legitimately smile when he does stuff like that. I swear to God. The next video you haven't seen is this one. Brendan Schaub interrupts Chris. Let's see what this is about. What does he do here? How does he interrupt the big man? What does he say to him that gets him more angry and hot and bothered here? Let's see.
In a coat over at the Fighter in the Kid subreddit. Bobby Lee, roll the goddamn footage. Do it.
That speech is already like a fantastic speech.
With the beat?
If he would have done that.
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude! If he did it back then, he'd be like, "What is this music?"
The whole crowd. He's all okay. Puts a gun up.
Yeah.
Puts a gun up.
Yeah. Yeah, Martin Luther King
This guy
was
slapped.
Now,
If there's one thing that Brendan loves to do is just repeat someone's joke, and he loves that shit. But to be fair, this, I think it's a little bit much to kind of criticize him on that sort of stuff. I think every comedian kind of does it, but he does probably love to parrot stuff a little bit more than others. Like, he actually goes with it all the way down. It's, oh, that's a fucking really good joke. Let me just play the whole thing out and, kill it before you've had a chance to fucking kill it. But hey, what can you do? Not that big of an issue there. I think that's a bit of a nitpick on that regard. Moving on. Oh, we got to talk about this. This is a fucking mad one. So, for those of you out there that have kids, I wonder if this is a bit triggering. Because there's that thing happening now with that kid. Who's that kid? Is he like mini Gronk or something, right? There's that guy, some American guys, obviously. Some dad is now basically trying to push his son into being a fucking football player. And he's essentially, pimping him out in places, DMing random people, putting him out there in content. I think the kid's like 10 years old or something. It's really aggressive, really sad. The kid will probably end up being super messed up. It'll be a miracle if he fucking comes out of this unscathed because of how idiotic his dad is. And everyone's kind of criticizing him rightly, right? For flipping, trying to, live vicariously through his fucking toddler of a fucking child. And it sounds like, from what Brendan's talking about with his son, he might be doing the same thing. It kind of sounds like, because now Brendan is using the excuse that the UK Euro tour thing, what he was doing, got cancelled because he decided to make a promise to his, how old is his kid? 10, 7, 12, I don't know, whatever, that he was going to commit to like training him to do baseball, to play baseball at like a really high level. Because I guess his kid is now showing acumen or showing a possibility of being really good at baseball. Before it was jiu-jitsu and some other stuff, but now all of a sudden it's flipping baseball that he's going to be a stud in. Or before that is even football. So he's going to commit to like training him or something, and he's kind of talking it up. And number one, it's really embarrassing because he's using his kid as like a human meat shield. That's really strange to kind of deflect away from a absolute horror show of having to cancel that whole entire UK date. But even if this is true and this comes from a genuine place, it's a bit disturbing that, you're basically putting your kid into a fucking training camp. For what? Exactly. It just seems a bit bizarre for me personally. But let's check the whole thing out. We can see what they're saying here, courtesy of The Fire and the Kid, episode number 903.
Been at this a long time, man.
Long time. Well, it's like my son, he's really into baseball. he has a coach he works with, and he has tryouts. It was just hilarious for 7-year-olds, but it's so competitive. They have tryouts in end of July, and we went to I've been taking him to the batting cages, and we're throwing all the time, 5 times a week. And then yesterday, he hasn't been able to do the fast pitch.
A 7-year-old that's probably just got interested in playing baseball because kids like to do everything, right? When you're a kid, I played every single sport: cricket, football, basketball, track and field, like netball, badminton, tennis. You did everything. Then after a while, when you get older, you start to kind of hone in on the things you actually want to do or enjoy. But you're a kid, you just play sports for the sake of it and because you get a chance to hang out with your friends. Simple as that, really. But yeah, to turn this into like, okay, we're going to pursue this as a professional sport at 7 years old, it's fucking wild. Especially in lieu of like cancelling the UK tour dates. Like, you're just shifting all that energy you would have been putting into your tour into your kid. It's not going to be toxic at all, is it? Not going to be toxic at all.
the drugs machine. He just, it's fucking fast, dude. For a 7-year-old, it's so fast. And yesterday he's doing it, he's hitting it. I'm like, oh shit, he's getting better, thank God. Because that baseball's not my thing, but I know the mechanics part of it and just the work ethic. If you want to be an outlier, I'll get you there.
Yeah.
So we're driving. He's like, Dad, I'm tired. I'm like, good. That's what we need.
If you want to be an outlier, I'll get you there. It's kind of hard to him to say that because he's never really been an outlier, has he, Brendan, in his athletic pursuits? I would say, anyway. He's never really been an outlier. Like, he did pretty well to kind of get from being an average footballer to kind of going into the UFC. But at the time that he was in the UFC, if I'm not mistaken, athletics or being the way he was kind of maybe a thing. That was a good thing, right? Clearly, that was something that could be used to your advantage. But then when skill became a thing, he started to lose and then he couldn't really compete and then had to kind of retire and pivot to something else. So he hasn't really shown any acumen or any kind of evidence that he's been an outlier in his own athletic pursuits. That's the only weird thing about it.
Dude. And then there's one of the reasons I'm not touring so much in the summer is I told my son I'm going to dedicate myself to him for baseball. He plays basketball and he's good. Jiu-jitsu, wrestling, he's an outlier. Football.
That is so shameless. That is so shameless. But if you actually listen to what he says, like he did the same thing that he did with aerial beef. Remember the aerial beef? He did this thing where he was apologizing. I don't know if it's like a thing people do when maybe they feel like they've been cornered or they feel bad or you're lying. But he was like swallowing a lot, like hard swallowing, like he had a fucking frog in his throat. It was weird how he was talking. I think some of you remember the stream I did. I was like, why does he keep swallowing and talking like that? He never speaks like that before. It sounded like he had a really dry throat. Maybe he's been crying. I don't know what the vibe is, but he kind of sounds the same here when he makes the excuse about the tour. Listen to him carefully.
Driving, he's like, Dad, I'm tired. I'm like, good. That's what we need, dude. And then there's one of the reasons I'm not touring so much.
See that weird thing, and he already sounds super emotional. So it kind of sounds like he's lying. And again, to kind of use that as an excuse is hilarious because he still hasn't explained why he cancelled the UK tour. There's been no official explanation as to why this tour that he was promoting for a good year or half a year has now been cancelled out of the blue with no explanation whatsoever to the fans. He hasn't explained it at all, which is very odd and kind of maybe shows that, you know, it's not all good over there at flipping the Schaub household. But instead of just being honest and just kind of making a joke of it or just being vulnerable for the sake of it, he's kind of protecting his ego, and that shares a lot about him. Maybe behind the scenes, he's the type of person who kind of laughs and mocks other comics who cancel shows or can't sell out. And now it's starting to happen to him. He can't process it. He can't comprehend it. He's having a hard time to kind of make sense of it. So now he's trying to cover himself by throwing his kids under the bus in a weird way to excuse him from cancelling it. But just listen to it again. The hard swallow is fucking crazy.
Work ethic. If you want to be an outlier, I'll get you there.
Yeah.
So we're driving. He's like, Dad, I'm tired. I'm like, good. That's what we need, dude. And then there's one of the reasons I'm not touring so much in the summer is I told my son I'm going to dedicate myself to him for baseball. He plays basketball and he's good. Jiu-jitsu, wrestling, he's an outlier. Football, he's good. Soccer, he's good, and he's the big
baseball might be the sport.
Baseball, he gravitates towards. And so I told him, I said, Bubba, you're like me as a kid. I played everything, but you're kind of 1 foot in. You have fun. Your friends are doing it. I said, you're gravitating towards baseball. And I said, if you want this, dude, you got a dad who knows. I can get you pretty far, and then the rest is gonna be on you. But all you have to do is commit. And I go, all your buddies, this is what's gonna happen. That's what happened with me. In the summer, your buddies are going, like you told me, they're going to Fiji and they're going to Paris. They're watching YouTube and playing video games. You're going to be working. It's not fun. I'm telling you right now, it's not fun. But
imagine talking to a 7-year-old like this about this. Like, what is this nonsense? We've not heard anything from Brendan about this stuff beforehand when the tour wasn't starting. And all of a sudden, the tour didn't sell. And he's fucking turning his house into a training camp to occupy his time because he's going to be bored too. Because he's not going to be on tour and going to comedy clubs as often as he was like. So he's doing everything possible to get outside the house. Instead of being happy just to like, spend some quality time with your family and sit down, he's turning into another like project type of thing, which is really, really strange. Again, who knows? Maybe the kid is actually a bit of a freak when it comes to fucking playing sports and shit. And maybe he actually has a natural ability and has taken really well to fucking baseball. It just seems very, very heavy-handed and unnecessary in this way. But who knows?
Boy, is it worth it. I said, if that's what you want, I'll show you the blueprint. But I'm telling you, man, it's work, dude. It's fucking work, buddy. And it's not going to be cool. It's not going to be cool. Your friends are going to want to do this and this. You're not going to be able to do that. Your friends are going to want to eat this. You're not going to be eating that. I'm telling you, dude.
That's what Ronaldo says.
And I told him, I said, I'm telling you, dude, we can go down this path. It's a...
The kid is 7. You think he's like 17. It's like, what? Like, aren't you meant to make it like fun for the kid? Just like to have a good time so they don't get burned out or something. I don't know, man. Yo, big up Josie Masters. Big up, big up. Good to see you. Like, I don't know. Again, maybe I don't have kids. I don't know how to kind of maybe accurately kind of look at this sort of stuff. And maybe if you do have a kid that's a bit athletic, you know, the tendency is to kind of try to make it work because you only get one shot at an athletic career, and it does probably need to start quite early on to kind of get started. I understand, but fucking hell, man, this is a bit much.
Motherfucker, I said, but you know what's cool? If it was for everyone, everyone would do it. It's not. If you want to be an outlier, this is what it's going to take. And it's not going to be the cool,
Is he
trendy...
showing those? Is he
Yes.
showing real talent?
Yes. And I said, it's not going to be the cool, trendy thing to do, but trust me, the juice is worth the fucking squeeze, dude. Sacrifice now and live like a king later.
What evidence does he has to say that, really? Was the juice worth the squeeze with the UFC thing to the comedy? I guess maybe he could say that, because would Brendan have ended up doing comedy and podcasting if he didn't have a mediocre type of UFC career? Even though he beat some good people, you know, it probably didn't match his expectation because he wanted to be a champion. So in that case, it was kind of mediocre, even though he was a top 10, top 15 guy. Maybe without that, he wouldn't have got stand-up and he wouldn't have done podcasting. So maybe it was, the juice was worth the squeeze, but it's a lot of pressure and flipping shit to put on your 7-year-old kid. Unless they're legitimately asking you to take them, you know, down that path, like they're begging you. But I think there should be more restraint from a dad. You should be a little bit more hesitant to not want to put your kid through like a fucking training boot camp to be a professional athlete. You should be a little bit more like, hey, just have fun, have a good time. You shouldn't really be like sticking it on them like this. I don't know. Maybe I'm just over exaggerating. I don't know.
All your friends are going to be doing all this shit. We're not going to be doing that.
He's how old?
7.
That's pretty wild that he's understanding.
And I told him, and you know, I was trying to make him, because it's really serious. And I was honest with him. I said, I'm committing myself this summer to you, man. It's you and me, buddy. You're waking up.
Big up Yoshi in the chat. Appreciate you. Yoshi said, and if he knew anything about having a kid turn into an athlete, he would want his kid to play all types of sports because you develop different skills doing different sports. Exactly. That's what I would have thought. Most kids that I grew up with, especially the ones that went on to do professional sports, like I think of a couple who went on to play professional football. They were good at everything. They were good at cricket. They were fast. They could play basketball, good hand-eye coordination with tennis and shit. But they just happened to kind of make it playing professional football. But they were good at all sports. I can't think of many professional athletes I went to school with that were just sucked at fucking basketball or badminton. They were good at everything. They fucking crushed everybody. It was annoying because they just found it so easy, right, to do everything. And they played it all. And it was always fun to them. It wasn't like they were kind of eating fucking chicken and broccoli every day and stuff. You know what I mean? They weren't drinking protein shakes. Like, they were just really good at a sport. They just had it's like a kid in school that has a real natural ability with fucking maths or with fucking English literature or shit. Like, it's just something that you just see as evident, but it doesn't mean you're getting them to do fucking TED Talks and stuff. This is bizarre, man.
Up with me. I'm running with him in the mornings at 7. Run with the hills with him in the mornings. We're doing all this shit. I told him, I said, it's
Can you hear me now? Yeah, you can hear me. Okay, I'm back. So, I was saying, sorry, before I got really interrupted by my fucking no audio popping off, I was saying this. It's been hilarious to see the amount of people in the fucking clip that I uploaded on my channel about Brendan lying about the NFL and people schooling me in the comments. I had people schooling me in the comments telling me that I got it completely wrong, right? So they said, pay your internet bill. I paid it, man. Get out of here. I had people kind of telling me I got it completely wrong and schooling me on it because I had no idea. I completely fucked up. I had no idea that you could legitimately just turn up at an NFL trial, just being a regular guy. Like I could go. So if I went to an NFL trial and I was a quote unquote walk on or something, that doesn't mean I couldn't then say I played in the NFL because I technically didn't play in the NFL. I just was a fucking, a human fucking crash dummy during a fucking trial game or something. Do you know what I mean? They needed a 6 foot black guy, a 6 foot pudgy black guy to fucking, just stand there and get hit or something. You know what I mean? That's basically what they might have needed. So that Brendan lie was fucking epic that he said that about himself, man. Legitimately one of the worst things I heard because I don't know why, but in my head I thought he played like D1 football and then he got scouted to play a little bit for the Buffalo Bills, and then he didn't make it in the end because he wasn't maybe good enough, but he had like some time with them. I didn't know he just legitimately went to like a couple training camps and that was it. That doesn't mean you played for them in the slightest. Eddie said, yeah, the movie replacement is all about that. Okay, cool. The Replacements. What is that? I never heard of that. I got to check that out. Let me see if I can watch that. The Replacements. What is this? Okay, cool. The sports. Okay, I've never watched this. I'm gonna check this out actually. This might actually educate me on this whole regard. What's this movie called? The Replacements. Okay, cool. Might have to check it out. The Replacements is a 2000 sports comedy filmed by Howard Deutsch starring Keanu Reeves, Gene Hackman. It's based on a true story. Okay, cool. All right, I'm gonna check this out. Thanks, Eddie D, for the recommendation. I'm gonna check this out. It looks good. I'm a def check this out. Anyway, let's go back to seeing what they're saying.
It's gonna be work, man.
Agostino Invincible Zinga, fly Eagles fly. Can you imagine me playing football, mate? It would be an absolute fucking disaster.
I'm down to do it. And then he's like, yeah, that's what I want. Because at batting cages, he was kind of not doing great. And he goes, again. I was like, I like that. And I didn't say anything because I'm not like, again. I'm like, whatever you want to go, let's go. No, I'm like, let's go, dude. I don't give a fuck.
Don't believe him in the slightest. Press F for doubt on that one. He's definitely telling him again, pick up your bat, stop being a pussy. You know what I mean? He's definitely one of those kind of dads. I don't believe this in the slightest. No way. That's an obvious lie.
He's like, again. I'm like, all right. So he hit one. The first one was like a foul. I'm like, that's not great. So I put a token in. That time he hits 5. Again. And it's late. We're talking, it's 6:30 already. The sun's coming down. We did an hour and a half before, sprints, base running, throwing, hitting. He was again. All right, put a coin in. I run out of coins. I go, I'm out of coins. He goes, oh, Dad, can you get more? Like, yeah, I can get more. Go back.
Why does everything that surrounds Brendan always sound like some sort of Hollywood movie? It always sounds like some sort of fucking Hollywood movie. From the fucking Mayweather comment, that Mayweather lie that Brendan said where he bumped into Mayweather at some UFC fight or something to do with Showtime and Floyd Mayweather said to fucking Brendan Schaub, oh, you're that white guy that, works too much. Like, come on, man. I'm sure there's a thing with Brendan. His lies are very obvious to me because I grew up with a lot of people. I don't know why this is the case because I'm not a liar myself, really. I don't go out of my way to kind of paint myself to be a certain way with certain things. But for some reason, I grew up with a lot of people who lied a lot when I was growing up, like about the stuff they did, about the stuff they owned. So I can recognize some of the little telltale signs. And I'm sure Brendan's lies are based in some truth. Like, part of me believes that he might have bumped into Floyd Mayweather in the back of some Showtime boxing event and they exchanged a couple of words, maybe a little head nod. But he always adds a little bit of paprika to the fucking story. Oh, I bumped into Floyd Mayweather. He said he's a fan. He said he's a big fan. He said he watched me in a companion the other day. He said he asked me for my picks on recommendations on who's going to win whatever fight. Then he told me I'm the white guy that works too much. See, so there's probably a basis of truth, a nugget of truth, but he just adds unnecessary stuff on top of it to make himself look better than what he is. It's so weird, man. Like a grown man doing this. Like, what are you doing? Who you trying to impress? Just be yourself, bro.
How long you want to do this? He's like, how many got? I got 5 coins here. This means you would have hit 10 times, dude.
And listen to how he's talking to his kid too. How many do you want? Like 7-year-old kid is talking like that. It's like the kid is in his early 20s. Come on, man.
It's like 20 balls. You know, that's a lot of fucking. It's 200 balls you're hitting here, dude. Again,
200 balls.
200 balls. Again.
Damn.
We get in the car, and again, I'm not a trophy dad. I'm like, Bubba.
It sounds like it. The only time Brendan talks about his kids, especially the oldest one, is when it comes to sports. There's no real like nice, topics and conversations about his kid when it just comes to general stuff. It's always to do with sports. Always athletic achievement, nothing else. So this sounds like you're a trophy dad to me, in my opinion. But again, what do I know?
This is a lot, dude. If you ever don't want to do this, you want to go play video games with your friends, do that, buddy. Be a kid.
Yeah.
But if this is what you want, it's this every single day.
Loves it.
Loves it.
Is he?
And then I made him laugh. I go, if you're scared, go to church. He goes, what? I go, you scared? Go to church.
Drink a warm glass of milk and go to church.
I said, if you're scared, go to church.
Yeah.
This guy, man.
He's laughing so hard. You scared? And then when you pass my church, I go, I'll pull in. If you want to play games and stuff, go to church.
It's the greatest.
He's laughing so hard.
I love that shit. I love it.
And then at night you can watch. He has a TV in his room. He can watch TV for 45 minutes before bed. He likes to relax, unwind, and then we have.
Oh, this kid, like, he's like, I don't know, man. This kid is like the oldest 7-year-old I've ever heard in my entire life. He just sits there and watches Fox News before he goes to bed. He's just there watching ESPN for 45 minutes exactly, and then turns it off and goes to sleep. Like, what? Is his kid David fucking Goggins or something? Like, what is going on? Just the kid might have the tism. Honestly, this just sounds. I don't know exactly, Tom. His kid's got a mortgage and a pension scheme. The kid loves Tucker Carlson before bed. Honestly, doesn't this just sound like? Guys in the chat, tell me, I've maybe it's just me. I've grown up with so many people in my life who used to lie like this so often. They used to lie about especially holidays. They'd lie about where they went. Like one kid will lie he went on holiday and just not come out the whole summer, and and they'll pretend like he went and he act like he came back somewhere when he pops out of his house. Another one lying about their games, lying about the bikes, lying about girlfriends that don't exist, boyfriends that don't exist, jobs. Like, don't you remember that those kids in school? They just lie about everything, like unnecessarily. Like, fucking hell. And he's still the weird thing about Brendan, the weird thing I'm saying about those kids that used to lie when I used to grow up. I grew up in a really rough area of London. With people around me, everyone was basically poor. If you're rich, you basically had money to buy your own lunch, right? You didn't eat the school dinner. That's when you kind of showed you had a bit of money. So I can understand why people would create these lies or say these lies, because you wanted to kind of give yourself a different, narrative, as Brendan would say, but also kind of escape your hellhole of a daily life. So maybe adding a couple of lies to your story kind of made you just feel good about yourself. But Brendan's somewhat accomplished, successful in his own right, stand-up career. You don't think it's funny. He's got his own thing. He does his own thing. He makes his own money. Like, that's great. Like, why do you need to lie at this point? Maybe when you're like a kid and you got nothing to your name and you want to appear cool and seem down, you lie about you have an Xbox, you lie you have a PlayStation, you lie that you went to Disneyland, you lie that you've got these Nikes but you're not allowed to wear them because your mum doesn't let you wear, whatever. But when you're a grown adult, lying about this sort of stuff is so strange. I'm from the streets of Af London, Stan. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know how corny it sounds when someone says they're from a rough part, but I just have to describe it. The streets of Af London, Stan, is funny.
Have a camera.
what Josh is saying here. I worked with somebody like that in the biggest lies you could ever imagine. Yeah, I just, like I said, I understand it if you're like got nothing going for you in life. I understand it. I don't like it, but I understand it. But when you're somewhat successful, in Brendan's case, why are you lying so much? Like, why? Especially about stuff like this. Like, why are you lying at this? Like, he's only talking about this stuff now because, like I said, his UK tour got cancelled. If his UK tour didn't get cancelled, he wouldn't be at home playing baseball with a kiddo or spending summer with the kiddos. He'd be in Europe, as he says, Europe, you know, enjoying himself, having a good time with his boys. But the fact that he didn't sell tickets, now all of a sudden he's turned into fucking beast of a dad. Like, come on, bro.
I'm in this so I can see, right? And so I told him, I go, when I was yours, I was obsessed with football. Only thing that mattered was football. Saturday night was Saturday Night Live. Outside that, it's football.
And look where that got him. A walk-on at Buffalo Bills, and that's it. So somehow he thinks that experience is going to be able to... Don't get me wrong, maybe the UFC career can give you that, but it's just a weird certainty of like, yeah, because I made it in a sport that I didn't know existed before I played football, now suddenly I'm going to be able to help you become a pro in a sport that I don't really know either. Strange one, but you know.
Oh, dude, I was obsessed. Not because my dad told me that's what I want to do with my life. I was obsessed with it. It's all, if you want, I was an expert in football. It's like, that's what it takes. So I tell him that, and I'm like, but we're going to watch Boss Baby or something like that. He's like, yeah, I'll figure it out. I'm like, right, have fun, dude. And I get on the camera and watch, boom, watching baseball. He loves Bryce Harper.
How
because they have this similar hair.
Is he going to be a monster? Is he a big boy?
He's a big boy.
He is. So he's got daddy's genes. Although your wife and her brother's no slouch.
No.
Bryan's the biggest cuck in it. If there's anyone that's gonna fucking polish Brendan's knob, it's definitely Bryan Callen. Fucking hell, man. And it's weird as well because I sometimes get the feeling a little bit, because Brendan's made a lot of jokes about Bryan's kids not being athletic, right? Bryan's son in particular being a little bit, you know, a little bit soft. That's what Brendan would describe him as. I get a feeling sometimes like he kind of peacocks with his kids. Like, your kid hasn't really got a natural acumen for sports, is uncoordinated, doesn't have good hand-eye coordination in general, but my kid is, you know? I kind of feel like he does that. And I'm sure parents do that. I'm sure there are some parents who can see that their kid is a little bit more, you know, has a bit more proclivity of playing sports. And then if another kid doesn't, especially if it's two boys, they go out of their way to always talk about how much of a beast their kid is to the other parent that has the kid who isn't really into sports. I'm sure that's the thing. I'm sure, because I get the feeling sometimes he does this a lot to kind of humble brag on Bryan, because Bryan's always got this suppressed, you know, urge to be like a man's man, but he's not. And then he has a kid who clearly isn't a man's man in his eyes either. And, you know, he's sitting there kind of wishing that he had Brendan's kid as a kid or something. I don't know. It's just a strange thing. They have this weird dynamic when it comes to sort of stuff.
Oh, her brother played college baseball.
It's an athletic kid.
Yeah, he was a catcher.
Remember when he was throwing
catchers are the,
I don't know if you remember this. We were throwing those little round rubber balls at each other.
Oh, when we were at
and he started throwing the ball, and I was like, dude, that ball was like, it looked.
Yo, big up Austin Casey. I appreciate you, brother.
I feel like Brenda has imposter syndrome. He knows the only reason he has had success is because of Rogan and Callen, so he's constantly lying to prove to everyone that he's legit.
Big up Austin Casey. I appreciate you for the $10 donation. You got a point there, but I don't think so. Part of me just thinks Brendan's always been a liar. I don't know why, but I can sense it. I've seen these people before in my life. He's just always been a liar. He's always been somebody that just lies about everything. And he's got this, like, he lives and dies by the mantra of, like, fake it till you make it. You know? Because usually I feel like the fake it till you make it thing is something that's quite situational, circumstantial. At the moment where you really, really need it, you kind of use the fake it till you make it to get your foot through the door. And then once your foot is through the door, you then kind of show and prove with your talent, with your hard work, with your work ethic, as Brendan would say. You don't keep faking it till you're making it. You don't. Once you got the job, you actually show and prove with your talent. But he doesn't. He does it. He does, you know, the whole fake it to make it to the end. Hence why he buys views and stuff. Like, it's all just an image thing. It's not really about the work. You know what I mean? It's not really about the craft. It's not really about the legacy. It's not really about, adding your fucking voice to the cultural timeline of arts and whatever. It's just about the image of appearing successful. Like, that's probably why he accepted the fucking comedy special from Showtime. That's the main thing. Who in their right mind would accept a comedy special 2 years into doing stand-up, especially the brand of stand-up that Brendan does? If you were maybe a savant and you came into it really being this really on the button, orator that's able to kind of touch on cultural and societal issues with your stand-up, and you just are this once in a lifetime freak, fair enough. But if you're just a guy that has like jokes about your college experience, playing football, being in the UFC, looking like a jock but you're not, you shouldn't accept a deal to do a stand-up special 2 years into your career. But why does he do it? Because it looks good as an image. It kind of makes him look successful if he gets a stand-up special with Showtime. So he accepts it because it's a fake it till you make it thing. So part of me just thinks Brenda's always been a liar. I understand what you mean. He probably does have a bit of imposter syndrome, but I just think he's always been a liar. And I think for whatever reason, his career, it actually has helped him. It's actually his help to be a liar. It's got him pretty far in life to kind of like fake it till you make it. And now he just can't, he doesn't know anything better than just doing that, which is weird personally. But hey, let's continue.
Like a UFO. It's like, oh, Jesus.
You don't realize when baseball players throw, holy shit. No, he makes a living teaching baseball, dude. He coaches a team. They just won the championship. They all got rings. Sent a picture of all their rings. Yeah. He does privates from Pasadena to fucking Malibu, like big boys. Like, he's a baseball expert.
Yeah,
my son has that.
Our boy Kevin Bay's got that baseball gym in
Arizona.
And I was trying to throw pitches. I think I got up to 68 miles an hour, something like that. I don't know what I was.
I don't even know what's good. I mean, obviously the pros are throwing a hundo, dude, and we're never going to do that. But I don't know what's good.
It, started throwing the ball, and I was like, oh, lordy. But it's what they do.
Bro, like now I'm getting more into baseball. I'll watch videos because I'll watch something to help my son out with like timing and his bat speed and his foot placement, all that, so I don't seem like I'm bullshitting him. You'll see these little Puerto Rican kids who are 6. Bro.
Are they Cuban or Puerto Rican?
There's both.
Dominican.
Cuban, both. Dominican. Let's get that one more time.
That, so I don't seem like I'm bullshitting them. You'll see these little Puerto Rican kids who are 6. Bro.
Are they Cuban or Puerto Rican?
There's both.
Dominican?
Both. Dominican.
You gotta love this guy.
It's Dominican.
Dominican.
The Dominican kids who are like 6.
Yes.
Oh,
it's a religion.
And there's no.
Well, it's a religion.
There's no private training.
But
they're just playing with each other.
They've been watching baseball for 6 years.
It's in their blood.
Yeah.
It's
best coaches, everything else. There's a whole book about the coaches there.
There's a picture on. It might be the Padres. I forget. He's 19 years old. I think he's the youngest starting pitcher. I forget. He's like 19 or 20, but he came from the Dominican.
Yeah.
And you just look at him like, holy, and he throws heat.
Yeah, it's like Pedro Martinez, my size, but just throwing,
Anyway, you get the gist. Pray for that kid, because bloody hell, mate. Bloody fucking hell. Pray for that fucking kid. Like, honestly, pray for that fucking child. What an absolute weird upbringing to have, man. Like, have your dad fucking, funneling his own, suppressed or lack of ambition through you or whatnot, or failed dreams. Just that must be a hard thing to kind of make work, to be fair. Fucking hell. Moving on. This clip is interesting. What do you guys think about this clip? Do you guys think the SCHMO and Pauly Shore went off to the toilets to have a couple of lines of fucking the finest Colombian? What do you guys think?
Just the one that everyone's.
Because I'm not too sure looking at the clip. Because I know from the time that I've been out and stuff, usually when two men decide to go to the toilet at the same time, it's not because, it's either because they want to, swap saliva, or because they want to exchange fucking banknotes, rolled up banknotes. Do you know what I mean? That's usually the reason why two men will get up at the same time to go to the fucking toilets. But what do you guys think of this clip? What do you guys think? Do you think they both went up to do some yayo, or they both just needed to piss? Let me know in the comments. Let me know in the chat.
This is the one that everyone's waiting for. This is the one that everybody's illegally streaming.
Oh. And then the girls right after this, right?
Yes. And then that's it. But at least we got submission. You've had 2 decisions, submission.
Yeah.
You had 2 fights at Pauly.
How much longer do I have to be here?
Pauly's like the main event's next, right?
I got to say.
It's 8:45. Your set's at 10:30.
Yeah.
I bet you're out of here by 9:30.
9:30. No.
I gotta take a quick piss break.
Yeah, get
I
you
gotta
some.
take a piss too.
Okay. And piss is brought
I gotta take a quick piss break. I've got to take a piss too. What do you guys think? Did they both go into the toilets to do a bit of yayo, or did they both go to piss together?
Take a piss too.
Okay.
Up,
And
boy.
piss is brought to you by
Yeah, have a good set. Thanks for coming, brother.
Yeah, but I'd say people saying SCHMO. SCHMO doesn't strike me as a cokehead, personally. Pauly sure does, because he's an OG Hollywood guy. He looks kind of ratty and shit anyway, in general, right? He kind of looks like a guy that's lived a hard life. So he kind of looks like somebody who isn't, isn't shy of, enjoying himself. But I don't think SCHMO, he doesn't strike me as one, personally. Maybe I'm mistaken. I don't really know.
Yeah, I gotta put my dog and I gotta make myself.
I get it.
You
Put
do
your
what?
face on.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know how to read this one. I really don't know. Usually I'm quite good at reading this sort of stuff, but I don't know if they did. This might just be a kind of coincidental thing.
Piss break.
Yeah, get
I
you
gotta
some.
take a piss too.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't buy the coke thing, personally. I don't buy it. Maybe Pauly Shore did, but I don't buy that they both went together. I think it's just, he said he needed to go, and Pauly Shore was just being funny and decided, hey, I'm going to do it with you too. What do you guys say in the chat? Yayo and Handy, says John Smith. Coke is a hell of a drug, says Larry Gary. He left at the same time to each other's blowy. Duh. Is Paula gay? Booty bumps for sure, says Uche. Coiler says they took 2 steps to the sink. They kiss, says Teju. No, it seems like Pauly was over it. Okay, cool. Okay, so I'm maybe reading it completely wrong. Pauly was just over it and just being fidgety and didn't want to set the table. So he went to the toilet, hung out a little bit, played around in the kitchen, and then came back. Says Hando. Rashad says the SCHMO is sugar daddy. Pauly saw the chance to get a peek. Yeah, Pauly was exactly Uche. Pauly always looks like he's in a perpetual come down. Exactly. So maybe that is the case. I don't really know, to be honest, but a part of me doesn't believe the whole coke narrative. I think that's a bit of an easy conclusion to pull because they're both doing what they're both doing. But yeah, I don't think the coke thing is true, personally, for me. I'm going to skip that one. I don't think that narrative is true. Next clip here. What are we going to do here? What else we got here? Oh, this is really good as well. Actually, no, let's play this. This is another kind of clip to, what's it called? Some experts from the GRONKENING of CHOMBIE. This is hilarious from the Frying the Kidz sub as well. Let's play this. This is fucking... the GRONKENING of CHOMBIE is hilarious. Let's play this.
I told my son I'm gonna dedicate myself to him for baseball. You got a dad who knows. I can get you pretty far, and then the rest is gonna be on you. But all you have to do is commit. And I go, all your buddies. This is what's gonna happen. That's what happened with me. In the summer, your buddies are going, like you told me, they're going to Fiji and they're going to Paris. They're watching YouTube and playing video games. You're gonna be working. It's not fun. I'm telling you.
He's gonna be in a building site somewhere. He's gonna be laying down roof like Rogan did that one time.
Right now, it's not fun, but boy, is it worth it. I said, if that's what you want, I'll show you the blueprint. But I'm telling you, man, it's work, dude. It's fucking work, buddy. And it's not gonna be cool. It's not gonna be cool. Your friends are gonna want to do this and this. You're not gonna be able to do that. Your friends are gonna want to eat this. You're not gonna be eating it. Little Gronk, his dad is like, he eats only rice and salmon.
Good way to burn him
he's
out.
going to the NFL. Oh, it's a disaster.
And he's doing exactly the same thing with his kid. That's the funny thing. He's doing exactly the same thing with his kid.
Sacrifice now and live like a king later. All your friends are gonna be doing all this shit. We're not gonna be doing that. Oh, it's a disaster. And then he's like, yeah, that's what I want. Because at batting cages, he was kind of.
That's what I want at 7 years old. Surely as a dad, you have to kind of be putting the brakes on your kid if they've got that kind of burning ambition at that age, or at least just telling them to go out there and enjoy themselves, not fucking turning them into an adult with a briefcase.
of not doing great. And he goes, again. I was like, oh, I like that. And I didn't say anything because I'm not like, again. You know, I'm like, whatever you want to go, let's go. No, I'm like, let's go, dude. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
But if this is what you want, it's this every single day. Oh, it's a disaster. And so I told him, I go, when I was yours, I was obsessed with football. Only thing that mattered was football. Saturday night was Saturday Night Live. Outside that, it's football, dude. I was obsessed. Not because my dad told me that's what I want to do with my life. I was obsessed with it. It's all, if you want, I was an expert in football. It's like, that's what it takes. Oh, it's a disaster. He loves Bryce Harper.
How?
Pray for that kid, man. Pray for that fucking kid. Jesus Christ. That's not going to end well. If it does, it's a fucking miracle. Moving on from that one, this is a really good compliment. Actually, what's it? The redacted compliment. I love this clip. Let's keep it on the phone. Look at some of it for this one. Trying to give Anthony Smith a fucking compliment during this interview on the Schaub show. Absolutely hilarious. I wonder if Brendan sees all the clips of like Anthony Smith and Bisping like laughing at him and stuff and discussing him on his pod. I wonder if he sees it or he just doesn't care, because it's a bit awkward, this chat they're having, considering what they were speaking about on the pod themselves about Brendan. But let's play anyway.
Good to see you, Mr. Anthony Smith. Crushing it, my man. Look at you, dude. You're all over the place. How you feeling, brother?
I'm good, man. I'm just trying to get more checks without getting punched in the face.
Right? That's the goal, man. But you just happen to be pretty damn good at getting punched in the face, too. Like,
when you consider his recent fights and how poorly he's performed, that isn't the greatest thing to say to him, is it? Oh, you have a talent for being punched in the face.
I'm just trying to get more checks without getting punched in the face.
right? That's the goal, man. But you just happen to be pretty damn good at getting punched in the face, too. Like, you're one of those rare.
You always get hit. You're like a human punching bag of sorts. That's why you're faceless the way it is. Oh man, Anthony Smith was a really good prospect when he first started, and I don't know what's happened over time. I don't know if it's his chin, the skill level. He just doesn't look as imposing as he did in the beginning, man. Such a shame. Maybe it's a competition and his weight class is just really high, but he seems like a really cool dude. Good knowledge, good on the mic, personable, you know what I mean? Smart, funny, all that good stuff that you need to be a champ and to be a big star. But it's just in the octagon, it just doesn't come together, man. It just doesn't come together. I still laugh at that clip of him because he has this thing where he's fighting. I think he's fighting fucking Johnny Walker, innit? He has this thing where he says, like, he pictures his opponent as somebody who kind of robbed his family, or like, but you know, I think kind of kidnapped his family or something. And you say to Johnny Walker, like, what did you do to my family or something in the octagon? He's like, what? He didn't understand what was going on. With Anthony Swift's raging at him. But I like Anthony Swift, man. I just wish he was, I don't know. Oh, he's an old, okay, people saying he's a journeyman. MMA Johnny says he's a journeyman with 50 fights. Okay, cool. He has so many fights, he might be on the down. Yeah. Shame, really, isn't it? Shame. Because I like him as a dude. He seems like a cool guy. But yeah, that was amazing, man. You seem really good at getting punched in the face. Oh, let's move on from this one. Let's play this clip, another one from the Schaub show, repainting the narrative. Again, be able to frighten the Kidz sub people for uploading this clip. Let's play this. Boom, 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 boom.
Like, I was exhausted, nonstop selling cards. And that's what I struggled with. It's like, I remember beating Crow Cop, and they put me in the top 10. My coaches were all celebrating, like, you're top 10. I looked at them and went, well, what's next, dude? 9, 8, and 7 are nightmares, dude. That's what's next. Then what's after 7? 6, 5, 4? I don't want to do this.
You can count.
Your reward is tougher fights.
Yeah, man, your reward's getting your ass whooped.
Yeah, interesting changing of the narrative in that one. He does this a lot as well with his kind of legend and story. Always changes little bits and pieces to fit whatever narrative he's trying to spin or whatever it may be. Again, the mark of a habitual liar. Even real events that happen have to get, you know, twisted and changed just for the sake of the story. Interesting dude when it comes to that sort of stuff, to be completely fair. Interesting dude. And then I think that might be it, you know. I can't really, there's not much more I want to see here. Okay, so the trademark, yeah, I think that might be it for now, brothers and sisters. Like I said, I've said it'll be a short one. There's not really much out there really to kind of talk about, to be fair. Oh, this one. Last clip is this. This is the last clip. So, interesting development regarding the TFATK shows in the summer. Brendan announced they're going to do like a theatre tour. Bryan, Callen and Brendan together, which I suggested before in the stream. So I'm hoping they took my suggestion and I'm taking credit for it. But I did suggest earlier on that I thought in another stream that I thought Brendan should just kind of quit his own solo stand-up career and maybe start doing like touring variety shows under the banner of TFATK and have Bryan join him on some of the dates, bring along some guests, have Little Brows do his rap shit, whatever he does, Chindo do his crying and R&B shit, and it'll be a far better show, and it'll probably sell way more tickets if it was him and Bryan than just him on tour doing his material. I think that'd actually work better. They'd maybe have to spend a bit of money in putting the show together, but ultimately it would kind of get him to a place where he could, you know, sell out theaters doing that. It might, like, similar to what the Tiger Belly guys are doing. No, not Tiger Belly. Similar to what Andrew Santino and Bobby Lee are doing with Bad Friends. That's my suggestion, but let's see. Let's hear what they have to say here anyway. This clip may have been something that was inspired by my commentary. I'm hoping it was. My ego is hoping it was. Let's play the clip.
Dude,
Yes,
can we take a little break? Real quick.
Your brain needs a break.
Yep, for sure. And I'm taking a break. You're taking a break next week.
I'm taking a break next week.
The Fine Kid is going dark next week. There will be no episodes. Bryan.
No episodes next week. Interesting. So I guess Bryan's going on holiday, and then I guess Brendan can't get any guest in to kind of cover for him. He doesn't want to do it on his own. Ooh. Bryan's face is very interesting here too, isn't it?
And is in Jerusalem.
I'm going to Israel, dude.
Israel?
And Jordan. I'm hitting the Middle East.
He's going to Israel and Jordan. Is that with his dad? Really strange locations to go, isn't it? Well, strange more so for, like, you know, just a regular white dude in America. But if your dad happens to be in the CIA, Israel and Jordan makes some sense. If you know, you know.
Fighting the good fight.
Yeah, I'm going to do some stuff. I'm going to walk in
we can't talk about it. No, we can't talk about it. The stuff you're doing, we can't talk about it.
It's secret.
But the Finally Kid is off next week, so stay tuned.
Yep.
And we will be back the following week with some more fun podcasts.
Oh, yeah.
We got some big news coming from me and Bryan. Little theater run here. We'll have announcements for you.
Oh, yeah.
Interesting. Theater one. They're doing a theater run together. I'm surprised they didn't do this sooner. I think because ultimately comedians are kind of selfish. They're kind of greedy. They want to make all the money for themselves. They don't want to split it or share it with anyone. So I think that's why most of these guys don't go on tour together, but they really should, because they would make way more money, because there's way more of an appeal, I feel like, for the punter to be able to pay for a ticket and see 2 or 3 of people that they kind of like on podcasts or who they think is funny perform than just see one person, especially if the openers are shit. I don't know. I think this is actually a good idea. This actually might work, but again, it feels like he's only doing it because the UK tour didn't do well.
Next close one, Schaub and Friends, Pasadena, July 28th. One show only, 8 p.m. And
it's a brutal list of dates, isn't it? Brutal list of dates. July, September, November. Fucking hell. It's actually starting to slow down. The bookings that he's, was getting before. Maybe this is a kind of, it's finally catching up with him. All of the fucking, terrible gigs, the recycling of the jokes, the bad reputation, is all starting to catch up with him maybe at this point, because having only 5 dates between now and the end of the year, and then only recently this kind of new theatre tour thing planning, is there anything that's happening soon? That's a little bit shaky, a little bit scary, to be fair.
And then I'll be around him at Laugh Factory Saturday.
Anyway, you get it just in it. That's the deal. Theatre tour happening soon with those 2 guys. Enthusiasm from Bryan's right at the place it needs to be, with a big open yawn there. But I'm curious to see what they do together. I'm curious to see what they do together as a theatre tour. I think they should have done this a long time ago. A kind of traveling variety TFATK show type of thing would work really well, in my opinion. And I think they'd sell way more tickets together than separately, especially at this stage, with Bryan being post-rape allegations, and Brendan being post-addies and baddies and Bobby Lee stuff, and just falling out with Rogue. This is probably the best time to kind of try and pull their resources together and see if that works, in my opinion. So yeah, let's see what happens. It'll be funny if they put the theatre show together as a duo and still don't sell any tickets. That would be funny. You organize a tour together with your quote unquote comedy best friend to make up for your lack of Euro tour, and then that also doesn't sell, and you have to also cancel that one. That would be fucking brutal. And then last thing here, BERT KREISCHER. has announced Fully Loaded Comedy Festival. Are you guys interested in this? Look at this. It's a comedy festival by BERT. Of course, it's in the middle. Of course, he's the most prominent one there because it's his thing. It's called Fully Loaded, and it's a comedy festival, I'm assuming, in the same way those other comedy festivals that these guys used to go to. Where's that one? There was that one particular one all the comedians wanted to always get booked at in Toronto, I think. I forgot what it was called. So there's always a place to go get, get seen, maybe get signed up and shit, maybe get a special, maybe get a deal to write for TV or movie shit. Just for laughs. Thank you, Josie. Just for laughs in up there in fucking Canada. So I guess he's doing the same type of thing, but made by a comic for comics. The lineup is pretty stacked, to be fair. That's a pretty stacked lineup. I don't know all the names off by heart here, but we're gonna try. Big J Okerson, I guess. There you got Stavros. You got David Tell, Luis J Gomez. I forgot this guy's name. That's the guy that's a freak that likes to fuck prostitutes. I forgot his name. Bert Kreischer, Mark Normand, Shane Gillis, and Andrew Santino. I forgot that guy's name. That's the one that the Mexican older dude hates. I forgot the black lady's name. Don't know who these two are. I forgot his name as well. Like, honestly, these names, I've just forgot all of them. My fucking brain is absolutely rotting here. What are you guys saying in the chat? Yeah, Jim Norton, that's the one that likes to fuck prostitutes. Sorry, Jim Norton. I don't know who this person is, this lady. I don't know who that is. There's quite a lot of women here. I don't never recognize their faces. Like, who are these people? Like, who's that? Who's this? Who's this? Like, who are these people? But yeah, let's see. Let's see what this is saying. The website for it, for BERT Kreischer's Comedy Festival. Let's see it load up. Can you load, please? Come on. Why is it just red? What's happened here? There you go. Okay, cool. Oh, there we go. It's loading up now. So this is BERT Kreischer's Comedy Fest. Oh, the website is one of these ones, isn't it? No wonder it's taking so much long to fucking load. It's got a whole entire GIF as a fucking background. Fucking hell. Anyway, Fully Loaded Tour. It's fucking, of course, but it's Starkers on the fucking picture. And the biggest one there as well. So big up him. Mark Norman, Shane Gillis, Tiffany Haddish, Stavros, Fortune Feimster, David Tell, Lewis Black. I don't know who Lewis Black is. Do you guys know who Lewis Black is? No idea who that is. Jim Norton, Andrew Santino, Bruce, Big J Okerson, Jay Farrow, Rich Voss, Lewis J Gomez. Hey, big up the Indian dude. Appreciate you.
Baba needs to book an African tour. It's the only country left at this point.
An Africa tour. John, I need to go see John Africa, right? Big up that Indian dude. Appreciate you. Go see John Africa in. Can you imagine him going to Africa? Wow. Dan Soda, Chad Daniels, Luce Gomez, Rosebud. Okay, that's the girl. Rosebud Baker. Who the hell is? Do you guys know who Rosebud Baker is? Who is this person? Are they good? Are they funny? Who's Rosebud Baker? Never heard of Rosebud Baker. Ralph Barbosa, Shane Torres, Tammy Pascatelli. Is this the one of the persons that's a friend with Joey Diaz? I heard her name before. Tammy Pascatelli. Is she Joey Diaz's friend? What people saying here? Rosebud is funny. She's a writer at SNL. Okay, cool. So Rosebud Baker, big up her then. Still Beans, who the fuck is that? Maddie Smith, never heard of her. Mark Smalls, I know him. I think he used to be friends with Delia, right? This guy. I know him. So and there's gonna be DJ sets by who? Oh, it's a DJ, Carter Cruz and Cypher Sounds. Wow, okay, that's a pretty good idea. You know what? This is kind of a cool thing. I'm not gonna lie. This sounds like it'd be a fun show. This sounds like it's gonna be a fun show. I'm not gonna lie. I would actually go to this. This sounds like it's gonna be a fun show. Everyone looks here kind of fun, vibes, good times, DJs, hosting. This looks like it's gonna be a good time. All the shows are rain or shine, so outdoors or indoors. How much are the ticket? Oh, look at that! They've sold out. There are already tickets for what's this place called? Guilford. Where's that? Is that New Hampshire? Why is Guilford, New Hampshire sold out? Is that like a big venue, or is there a big comedy community there? Interesting. That's the one sold out. Sold out as well in Traverse City. What's that? Where's MI? Is that Mississippi, Minneapolis, Michigan? What's MI? I don't know what MI is. Parkview Field, In Fort Wayne, I guess Indiana, that's sold out as well. Wow, man. Quite a lot of sold out dates. There's a lot of dates. Fucking hell. Bert's gonna be caking. Let's see how much the tickets are. Let's see. Arizona, let's see. Memphis, Tennessee. What's the guesses on tickets actually? I want you guys to guess first. What's the guesses? Put your guesses in the chat. I'm gonna say as a guess, I'm not gonna look at my screen. I'm gonna say $50. That's too low, isn't it? I say 50. It's a one-day festival. You get to see a DJ, a host, and all those comics. I'm gonna say $50. What do you guys say in chat? 350, 40, 60, 70, 299, 200 people are saying here. 125 from Uche, 150. Okay, cool. Let's see what it's saying here. I'm saying I'm saying $50, but I'm pretty sure I'm wrong. 130. Hold on. The price. Okay, cool. Oh, okay. There we go. It's $30, 35 to 130. Wow, even cheaper than I thought. Okay, let's check here. Hold on 1 second. How many tickets I want? Let's say I want one. See, how do I see the tickets? Okay, can you show me here? Okay, seat map. Let's see the seat map. Come on, bro. Why is it not loading? Why can't I see the tickets? Are they all sold out? Is that why I can't see them? Why is it not loading up here properly? Seat map. I press seat map. To be fair, 130 maximum is pretty good vibes. I'd pay for that, to be fair. 130 maximum is a pretty good deal. I'm not gonna lie, even. That's a really good fucking deal, man. He really hooked up his fucking his fans, to be fair. 130 maximum is not bad. Yeah, see, look at the ticket prices there. I think you can't see it because my thing doesn't fucking let me scroll. But yeah, can you see there on that side, see? You've got one level here towards, so that's a stage. Let's actually zoom in there so you can see it. The stage is there, as you can see. Let's pull it that way a little bit. That's a pretty good deal. I'm not going to lie. That's a really fucking good deal. So those seats over there are 120. What are the £30 seats? I'm assuming somewhere around 217 are the $30 seats, right? $49, you get those seats there at the back, and I think the $30 will be somewhere around here on the edges. I'm assuming that'll be the $30 fucking prices. Let's see. Let's scroll down. 49. Yeah, $35 are here. See, that's it. This is $35. These are $35. Wow, that's a pretty good deal, isn't it? That's a really fucking good deal. Wow. Fair play to Bert fucking KREISCHER. And it's a baseball stadium as well, it looks like, right? MLB. What team is this? Because I'm not familiar with fucking teams or whatever, but it's like a baseball team or something, right? Or baseball stadium or something. It looks like it, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, 35 for possession. Not too bad. I kind of like the deal. The Falcons bronze arms. Okay, it's a Falcons baseball team. Okay, cool. I'm not mad at this in the slightest. This looks really good. Many dates here. Would you guys go in the chat? Let's see. Let's actually make a poll before I leave. Let's see what you guys say. Let's do a poll. Big up that Indian dude.
Carter Cruz sounds like a PR0 in name. Sorry.
Carter Cruz. Big up that Indian dude. Appreciate for the $2 super chat, my friend. Thank you, brother. Let's see there. Would you go to the Bert KREISCHER? Would you go to the Bert fully loaded festival? Let's see what you guys say here about this. I'm curious. I would go, to be fair. I'd probably paid $100 to get a bit closer to the front. There's no point sitting right here in the bleachers or shit. I'd go to the front. So I'd actually pay the $199. Yeah, these seats are pretty decent. And then what's the 125 one then? Maybe it's further in the front. But yeah, I'd do that. Drink a bunch, eat some good food, fuck around. Be pretty cool. I'd love that. Oh, okay, it's a minor league baseball stadium, someone's saying here. Okay, cool. Yeah, LOL. Yeah, $35 is bottom tier civilian section. Yeah. Oh wow, you can donate something as well. I like this, man. This looks fucking fun. I will definitely check it out. This could be a good time. Shit. That's a lot of fucking stops, isn't it? Baltimore, Mosick, Guilford, Traverse City, Fort Wayne, St. Louis, Lincoln, Huntsville, New Orleans, Memphis, Oklahoma, Las Vegas, Salt Lake City, Boosie, George. Wow, it's a lot of fucking places, man. Fucking hell. Okay, fair enough. George and George. But anyway, that is it for me, I think. What are you guys saying in the chat? What's the poll saying? Wow, it's kind of tight. You guys don't want to go, do you? 43% said yes so far. 57% said no. Okay. Fuck, okay. Maybe it's just me. This I feel like is way more value for money than going to see one comic, to be fair. I'd much prefer to go see a range of people like this, because I feel like you're gonna maybe be able to see your favorites and also maybe discover somebody who you didn't basically rate beforehand. So that's the kind of, you know, bonus on that one. That's what I'd like to do, to be fair. But yeah, people are saying it no 50%, yes I'm 42. So I guess most people don't really give a fuck about comedy shows for the most part. You don't want to be seen there. You just want to go and watch their shows, their performances on YouTube, but that's about it. You don't want to be in front of them, having them spit on you and shit. Oh, okay. Uchi's saying it's better in clubs. Ah, okay, Uchi, I see what you mean. Stadium comedy is a bit sus though. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. This isn't the most intimate of venues, is it? Right? I guess I know what you mean. It's not the most intimate of venues. You're kind of like in one little section of the stadium here. It's going to be a bit sparse. The stage is going to be like, yeah, I get it. I understand. It's sort of like the same thing with clubbing culture. Some people don't like festivals. They'd rather see DJs in nightclubs. So I guess it's the same thing. Okay, maybe it's just me then. I definitely would go. Get some hot dogs, have some pulled pork sandwiches, drink some Bud Light and shit. You know, that would be a quite a good little trip to go to. But that's me, you know, fetishizing Americana culture and shit. When really it'll probably just be a little bit, you know, just me surrounded by some older white people shouting and screaming, you know, slurs at people on stage. I don't know. Anyways, that is it for me. I'm gonna end it for now, my friend. Got a jet off. Not really much going on in the land of the comedy and the Brendan Schaubs and stuff. It's kind of gone a bit dead now. We still have to wait for Brendan to explain exactly why the UK tour got cancelled. We haven't really got an eye on that one, but we have to wait until later. But yeah, for now, I'm gonna go and chill. So big up everybody in the stream chat. If you're watching this, please make sure you smash the like button down below for me. That'd be greatly appreciated. And I'll see all of you guys again very, very soon. The poll is a bit closer now. Before I end it, it's 47% each. That's pretty good in terms of yes and no. So it's definitely 50-50 split. But yeah, man, big up everybody. I'm gonna end the poll now. For now, I'm gonna end it. Yep. Big up everybody for tuning in. Appreciate all of yous. And yeah, man, see you soon, innit? Make sure you like the stream. Like the stream down below. Give me some love in. See you guys again. Sure. Bye.